Hello, welcome back with another one. What do you call a medieval lamp? Night light. Okay. Uh, so we've been talking about non-right angled trig, and this is going to be the next version. We've learned about the sine rule. We've learned about the area of a triangle. If you haven't watched my previous video, today we're going to learn about this thing called the cosine rule. Okay. And very similar to the sine rule, it finds your sides and angles of any non-right angled triangle. I wrote trigonometry. Well done, Andy. But this here is what your formula looks like. Now, if you notice the picture, nothing has changed. I labeled my triangle the same way as I have always. The uppercase is your vertices and your lowercase is the sides. I've given you, if you, depending on your textbook, it may look the same, it may look different, but I've given you these two formulas that's because that's what you're going to see in your HSC. Okay. Now c squared equals to that a squared plus b squared minus 2abc, ab cosine c, or cos c equals to a squared plus b squared take away c squared all over 2ab. Now, the most important things that you'll note here is I can change around the formula however I want. But the most important part, that is, if it's c squared here, the thing here is cos c. And if it's cos c here, the thing that I'm minusing is the c squared. So what I mean by that is I could change this whole formula and I could write it as a squared equals 2. And as long as I do the other two, b squared plus c squared, I minus 2bc, but then I take away cosine, or it's part of the cosine a. That is fine. Or I can write it as, maybe cos a. Well, let's do cos b, because why not? Cos b. I should use that in a joke. Cos b is going to be a squared plus c squared, take away b squared all over, and then it's just the other two, 2ac. Okay. All it's saying here is the order of the letters don't matter. The only thing that matters is if I'm trying to find an angle or a side squared, you got to minus the 2a, you got to minus that thing, and then it's got to be cosine of whatever that relates to. Same thing is if I'm finding the cosine of a particular angle, I need to take away the square of the opposite side. Okay. How this one works is if I'm going by this formula here, it's saying that c squared, or this side, is a squared plus b squared minus cosine c. So the way that I kind of see it as is I've got this little kind of arrow going. So I like to remember it this way because I'm a visual person. Some people may say if you've got 3 sides and an angle, then you're using the cosine rule. Okay. Now I just like to see an arrow, but you kind of figure out what works for you. All right, let's use the cosine rule to find x. Now, first of all, I need to recognize here that I've got 3 kind of sides. I'm missing one angle. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be impossible to do this question. Should have planned ahead. Let's call this one 15 degrees. As you can see, I've got an angle, a side, included angle between 2 sides, and I'm trying to find the opposite. That's the arrow that I'm looking for that tells me it's probably the cosine rule. Now, in case you've forgotten the cosine rule, I'll write it here. Cos c equals to, I probably should have explained this as well. They give you 2 formulas. C squared is a side. So that means I'd probably use this formula if I'm looking for a side. Okay, but cos c, I'm now talking about an angle. So if I'm looking for an angle, I'd probably use the second formula. Okay, if you are pretty cluey with your math, you will soon realize that you can rearrange the formula to give the other. Like one will give the other if you rearrange it. But yeah, in the reference sheet, they do give you both. So for this one here, I'm finding a side. So I'm going to stick with the formula that goes like this. C squared equals to a squared plus b squared, take away 2ab cosine c. Okay, now let's just replace the things that we know. If this case here, it's going to be my unknown is going to be the x squared. That means a squared and b squared must be the 18 and 23. 2 times 18 times 23. What did I write? 12. Should be 23 squared. Thinking too quick here. And then cosine of my angle, which is cos 15. Okay, now while I'm here, I don't want to find x squared. I just want the singular x. So I'm going to take the square root of whatever that big boy is. And you'll find here, let's do that. Oh, lost my iPad. Let's see if we can come back. There we go. And we're back. 18 squared plus 23 squared minus 2 times 18 times 23 times cos 15. And all of that under a square root, and your answer should be 7.29. And in this case, if this was centimeters, this would also be centimeters. Cool. Now let's take a look at this one. If I want to find an angle, I'm probably going to use this cos c equals to a squared plus b squared and then minus c squared, because remember, if it's c, I'm minusing the c there, and it's going to be all over 2ab. Now let's take a look. I've got my angle, I've got two sides included angle, and I've also got the opposite. I can kind of see that I'm working with my cosine. In this case here, the unknown is the cos theta, and then the a squared and the b squared, I always think are the two surrounding ones. So it'll be 3 squared plus 7 squared. And I need to minus the opposite side, which is the 6 squared. And like I said, a and b was the 3 and the 7. Now, while I'm here, I'm just going to find the cos inverse of whatever that bad boy is, because at the end of the day, I just want theta. And so this is going to be cos inverse of 3 squared plus 7 squared minus 6 squared. Thanks for bearing with me. Over 2 times 3 times 7. And that's going to give me something like, generally we like minutes and degrees and minutes. So it's going to be 58 minutes and it'll round up to 25, 58 degrees, and then it'll round up to 25 minutes. Okay, and that would be your answer. Hopefully that was somewhat short and sweet. Yeah, cool. That's the next one. All right, see you guys later. Enjoy and bye-bye.